Hi Scorpio, this is going to be your combined reading for September. The cards on the top are going to be for the love relationship aspect of the reading, and the cards underneath are more general, okay? So the messages from that particular reading you can apply to any area of your life that you feel it fits with you at this current time, okay? Just bear with me for 1 second. Sorry about that, Scorpio. I just realised that I hadn't actually put down your little destiny card message or your psychic tarot card. So I just shuffled and laid those out for you. So, like I said, the cards on the top are for your love relationship reading. And in the centre, we have the Nine of Swords. So this can be overthinking, okay? It can be worry, stress, having the same fear or concern going around in our heads. It's not always the reality though, because sometimes when we're overthinking something, we can make it seem 1,000 times worse. And really, rather than overthink and be in that situation, it's going to be best to deal with it. To open up about what's worrying you or bothering you. Bring it out to the open and talk about it, okay? Now, your card up the top here is the Seven of Cups. So this can be a card that deals with choices. Have you got a choice to make? Now, Scorpio, when we say choices, it doesn't have to be choices between two people. It can be choices between your relationship and your career. Your relationship versus where you live. There's all manner of different aspects in our life that can play a part when it comes to these choices. But also, the Seven of Cups is fantasy, is illusion. Are we, is there an element of fantasy and illusion attached to a relationship? Be them your fantasy and illusions, or are they coming from the other person? Now, the card next to it is the Wheel of Fortune, but in this deck it's called the Wheel of the Year. So the Wheel of Fortune, yes, good fortune coming. Having an opportunity maybe to get back on that wheel and maybe do something differently. Sometimes that can be the case with the Wheel of Fortune. Having an opportunity to do a do-over again. If not, it can suggest that some good fortune may come through here when we're talking about a relationship. But I do feel that you've got to look at your mindset and work out what it is that you are worrying about and why you are worrying about that. Next to the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Strength card. And the Strength card, like I just said to Libra, because they had this card, is it talks more about our internal strength and needing to tap into that. That lion, she obviously thought was very ferocious. But she managed to tame that lion, and when she did, she discovered it was just a lovely little pussycat. Sometimes for me, the strength card can be where we need to tap into our internal strength, because we may be dealing with somebody that is controlling, domineering. It may be that they're not normally like that, but it may be that they're like that at this moment in time. It may be, though, that with the fact that we have this Nine of Swords here, that is why we're needing to tap into our internal strength. Now, next to the Nine of Swords, it's interesting because we have the Three of Wands here, and on the other side, we have the Two of Wands, which it feels strange because to me, the two should be here and the three should be here. But as you always hear me say, I'm like an old record sometimes, to get to the Three of Wands, we had to have come from the two. The Two of Wands is making a decision. We've got two paths and we've got to pick one. But you've got the Three of Wands here. So that's suggesting to me that a decision has been made. Or is it a case that this overthinking, this stress, this worry is because there is a path? See, what it could be, Scorpio, is that you've already come from a place of being at a crossroads. And you've made a decision, and you've got the Three of Wands now, and it's waiting for your ships to come in, yes, and waiting to see how things are going to work out, yes. But was that decision based on an element of fantasy and illusion? We've now got this overthinking, this worry, this stress creeping in. Do we now find ourselves back at a crossroads again, needing to make a decision, having to choose again which path we're going to go down? Are we not getting the results that we thought we were going to get, that we were waiting to get with that Three of Wands? So we now find ourselves back at a crossroads. Down here, we have the Knight of Swords. So he's the quickest knight. He comes charging in. He's got something to say and he's going to say it. He wants to speak his truth. As I said to you here with this Nine of Swords, rather than worry and overthink, it may now be time for you to speak up. Yes, that Knight of Swords could be the other person here. But for some of you, it may very well be you needing to do that. But what I don't like is that next to the Knight, we have the Page. Page of Swords is a need to ask more questions. So Scorpio, if this Knight of Swords is the other person coming in and speaking their mind to you, it may very well be with that Page of Swords being there, because pages are messengers, that there may be a need to ask more questions. Because somebody may not be on the up and up here. Somebody may not be speaking their truth. Somebody may very well be fantasizing. Remember, fantasy, illusions. If it's the other way and that Knight of Swords is you speaking your mind, you may very well find that your partner or whom you're dealing with here is going to ask questions, is going to question you. Now, the last card you've got in this deck, it's called Karma, but it's actually the Judgment card. And judgment can be where we are judging another individual, or they are judging us. That could very well be the case here. But judgment can also be an awakening to see something or someone differently. Maybe an awakening to realize that this relationship has been built on fantasy and illusion. Maybe an awakening to realize that what the other person has been telling you or is telling you is the truth. Bit of a confusing one here. But there is definitely worry and concern. And as I said, I don't like the Seven of Cups. If it is about choices, then okay, maybe I'm giving it a rough deal. But when we're dealing with fantasy and illusions, I don't like that. Because it is fake. And it's almost conning somebody. So whether somebody's conning you or you them, either way is not correct. Okay, so we're going to pick these cards up now. Sometimes we're going to get repeating cards, in which case the message will be more significant, okay? And we're going to move on to the part of the reading now that is a general part. So it can be about any area of your life, Scorpio. And you apply the messages if you feel they fit a particular area of your life at the moment, then that's where you must apply those messages. If there is a repeating card, then as I said, I feel it's a message that is of greater significance. And straight off the bat, we do have two repeating cards here. We have the Judgment card and we have the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords, again, overthinking, Scorpio, in your own head. Judgment, either an awakening to see something differently or placing a judgment on somebody else or them on you. The card at the centre, Five of Pentacles. Now, this can go two ways. The Five of Pentacles can talk about financial issues. How in September there may be a few financial hardships. They're not permanent, okay? But it may just be that is the case. That there may have been some overspending over the last few months, and now September hits and we're feeling a few constraints when it comes to our finances. But the other aspect with the Five of Pentacles is it can be that feeling of being left out in the cold. Sometimes feeling as though we're on the outside looking in. Sometimes it can touch on loneliness. How we can be in a room surrounded by friends and family, and yet we feel this deep sense of loneliness. So whether it is the loneliness, whether it's the financial aspect, apply as you need to, Scorpio. So up the top, the first card, Two of Cups. Two of Cups doesn't have to be a personal relationship. It can be a family relationship, a friendship. We have close bonds and close connections with many different people in our life. The thing with the Two of Cups is the cups are of equal size. And what we find in the cup, in each of the cups, is the same. So somebody that is like-minded, somebody that, has the same values. Next to it is Judgment, which, as I said, is a repeating card. So a judgment, maybe. Are you judging another person? Are they judging you? Are we talking about a relationship here? As I said, doesn't have to be personal, but an awakening as well. Is there an awakening that's going to take place within you in September in regards to you and another person? Again, not always personal. We have the Nine of Swords here. Overthinking. In our own heads. Worrying. What are we overthinking? Next to the Five of Pentacles, we have the Death card. So look, the Death card doesn't always mean actual death, but obviously sometimes it can mean that. And Scorpio, if that is the case for you, then obviously I'm deeply sorry. But the Death card generally talks about an ending. But with every ending, there is a new beginning. So, are we talking about a relationship here, Scorpio, that has come to an end or is going to come to an end in September? And when I say relationship, I can't, stress enough that it doesn't have to be a personal relationship. On the other side, though, of the Five of Pentacles, we have the Empress. So this is a positive energy. The Empress is the birth of something new here, okay? The Empress can sometimes talk about pregnancy. And, what's coming to my mind, and I'm going to say it, is it that maybe just one of you has dealt with the loss of a pregnancy in the past? And it may very well be that in the month of September, you find that you are pregnant. And maybe there is an element of worry and stress over that pregnancy. But if not, The Empress is about the birth of something new here. Okay, which is lovely. As I said, with the Death card. With every ending, there's a new beginning. And we have that new beginning here with the Empress. But I worry, Scorpio, that on your mindset, this Nine of Swords coming out twice, you know, you've got to get out of your own head. On the next row, we have the Star. Now, the Star comes generally after the Tower. Maybe some of you have had a Tower moment where something has collapsed, something has broken down in your life. The Star card, yes, it is a card of wishes, wish fulfillment. But the Star card also is a card of healing. And definitely healing needs to take place. Because I feel this energy of somebody feeling bleak. You know, in this Five of Pentacles, you've got the snow on the ground. And I always feel in the winter, it feels very cold and dark and bleak. And that's the energy I feel. And, you know, if any of you are feeling that way, then healing has got to start to take place. Looking at the messages this way, the Two of Cups, the death and healing. Maybe we are dealing for some of you with the loss of a relationship. Again, doesn't have to be personal, but that may be again for some of you. The next card is the Queen of Cups. So I could say we've got your energy here, Scorpio, okay? Forget the gender. But it could be that you're dealing with another water sign, a Scorpio, a Cancer, a Pisces. The Queen of Cups, ruled by her emotions, can be easily swayed by her emotions, very intuitive. If that is you, then it's good to see you in the upright, in your positive element there. Maybe needing to tap into your intuition. Your last card, though, is the Ten of Wands. And this is the only good thing about the Ten of Wands is the fact that it is a 10. So we're coming to the end of a cycle here. The Ten of Wands is either carrying too much responsibility or feeling a heavy weight, carrying a heavy burden on our shoulders. For some of you, it could be financial, for others, emotional. But as I said, with the 10, the cycle is nearly coming to an end. Your message from the little destiny cards is changing. So things are going to change, Scorpio. New beginnings. Dropping the burdens, the heavy weight. Your message from the Psychic Tarot, victory, success. So, you know, while things may feel and seem very bleak, things are going to change. Nothing stays the same forever. But we've got to get out of our head. Maybe we've got to allow this awakening to take place within us. We have got to go through this healing process. But all the while know that victory and success can be yours. Okay, Scorpio, that is your reading. Thank you so much for watching and take care. Bye.